are watching Keep It Weird,
Yeah!
the podcast for all things strange, unusual, paranormal, supernatural, creepy, sticky,
scary, gross, and everything in between. I'm always off
it's
on like
the
scary,
sticky, and
yeah,
gross.
That's where I always get fumbled up. Man,
one of these days, maybe in season 2.
One of these days, season 2, we're really gonna get it.
Get it.
New year, new us.
New year, new us.
Maybe we'll see.
Probably not.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Lauren.
This is Lauren.
Hey.
We are your hosts.
For this evening or day, whatever time you're watching.
Whenever you're watching this. It's evening for us.
It is
Look
evening.
Look at this guy. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And happy holidays.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Merry Christmas.
And happy holidays. Remember
that one?
Do you remember that song?
He's so handsome.
He's so pretty.
All ready for the holidays.
All ready for the holidays. Next week we are recording a $15 Patreon video-sode. We don't exactly know what we're doing yet. I think we're gonna drink hot cocoa and eat cookies and talk about
tell Christmas tales.
Ooh,
just have
Christmas
a little
tales.
Holiday Christmas fun. It might get a little weird and creepy, but it also should be delightful and festive.
Really sweet and adorable.
You know, just Christmassy. So tune in.
And weird, maybe. I don't know. We
haven't
bit. Decided yet.
Naturally happens with us.
But currently, you're watching our news segment.
This week in Weird. I went for the bass note that time.
No, that was really wonderful.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot what we were doing halfway through.
Yeah, and what's funny is we went for the same notes at first, and I was like, shoot, the harmony's not happening. I better get down here. You want to go first?
I'm very tired. Yes, I do.
It's been a long day, but we're still
day.
here to deliver the weird news.
Delivering news to the masses.
You know.
All
the millions.
Yeah.
All millions or 30 of you that are watching this. Oh, slam dunk.
It almost hit Gabby. Okay.
Sorry, kitty.
So, did you see the Stranger Things pop-up bar in Chicago?
I heard all about it. I saw pictures, but
okay.
Yeah, I wish I could have attended.
Did you hear what happened?
No.
How they got shut down?
Why now? Why?
It's great.
How?
So this is apparently this is old news. I hadn't even heard of the pop-up bar. Did you hear that? The pop-up bar.
The pop-up bar.
I didn't even know about the pop-up bar. But apparently there was a pop-up bar in Chicago. And the bar is called Emporium Arcade Bar. It's in Chicago. Mm-hmm. And they sometimes do pop-up themed bars. And this past September, they started a Stranger Things pop-up bar for a six-week run. Very tired.
And I have a lot of friends
in
Chicago, which is the only reason I knew about it, because they were posting pictures galore. Yeah, when it first opened. So if something happened, I didn't hear about that part. But.
So Netflix, so it was a 6-week run of this pop-up bar. It was waffle themed drinks, and it was they had the living room for Stranger Things with the alphabet and
the lights hanging up, the Christmas lights.
Netflix obviously had to send them a cease and desist letter saying, you can't use this. Yeah, you don't have the rights to it. But they sent the coolest cease and desist letter I've ever read. So I'm going to read it to you. Danny and Doug, who I assume are the owners of the bar.
Sure.
Danny and Doug, my walkie-talkie is busted, so I had to write this note instead. I heard you launched a Stranger Things pop-up bar at your Logan Square location. Look, I don't want you to think I'm a total wasteoid, and I love how much you guys love the show. But unless I'm living in the Upside Down, I don't think we did a deal with you for this pop-up. You're obviously creative types, so I'm sure you can appreciate that it's important to us to have a say in how our fans encounter the worlds that we build. We're not going to go full Dr. Brenner on you, but we ask that you please, 1, not extend the pop-up beyond its 6-week run ending in September, and 2, reach out to us for permission if you plan to do something like this again. Let me know as soon as possible that you agree to these requests. We love our fans more than anything, but you should know that the Demogorgon is not always as forgiving, so please don't make us call your mom.
Oh my God!
I just thought that was the coolest way to be like, hey,
the coolest
you can't
way.
do this.
Yeah, they weren't being dicks. They were having fun with it and quoting their show. I love that.
I know. I thought it was so
amazing.
cool. And they didn't even just like say like, hey, if you continue doing this, like we're gonna sue you. It was just like your run is for 6 weeks. Like when it's over.
It's actually really cool of them that they said continue your 6-week run. Yeah. Like they could have easily been like shut it down tomorrow or we're taking action. Yeah. But it's like they were so cool.
Yeah, and I understand why, one, copyright infringement, like Netflix obviously wasn't making money off of their own show, so that's one thing. But also, I didn't even think of it this way. Like, Netflix has to control the way that their product is promoted.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, well, the one guy, Jared, who is the manager of the bar, I guess. Excuse me. He said, it's been so much fun for us and for fans of Stranger Things, and has even introduced the show to new fans here in Chicago who weren't aware of the show before visiting the pop-up, which... That's not true. Has anyone not heard of Stranger Things?
That's actually very true. And I don't think you would just go to the pop-up bar if you hadn't heard of the show, because from my experience with pop-up bars, because there have been some in LA, it's like the longest line. Yeah. You have to buy tickets way ahead of time. They're really expensive, so why would someone be like, what's this show? I'll spend $50 and go there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No. So I guess that's true. Everyone's heard of it.
Pretty sure.
Even if you haven't watched it.
Jared was... lying or mistaken. But
I'm sure it did help promote the show more.
Sure.
Like, it got people more excited. So he's not wrong in that aspect.
Especially
and
since
maybe that's why they were so
coming
cool
out
about
in October.
Right.
So like,
it was great timing. And I think it got people hyped. And I'm sure that's why the creators of Stranger Things were also like, we can be cool.
They probably also checked it out and made sure it wasn't like, we have a stripper in the back.
Right. That's very true.
Of our pop-up bar.
Let's check that out. Yeah, I mean, copyright, you have to be so careful with that stuff, because there was a Star Wars pop-up bar in Hollywood that now is a permanent bar because people liked it so much, but they have no rights to any of the Star Wars stuff. They just have, like, lots of lookalikes, and it's called the Scum and Villainy Cantina, and it looks exactly like the cantina in Star Wars, but, like, it's still not, and they don't have, like... the characters hanging around and the people behind the bar aren't dressed like they're from the movie, but they're dressed as if they'd be like from that world.
Right.
And so they did it so perfectly where they're tiptoeing around everything. It still gives people that vibe, and you can go there and nerd out over everything, and they have fun, like colorful drinks, but they don't have anything that's like, Darth Vader's here.
Yeah.
And there's a Yoda picture. Like, they're very careful. And I thought it was smart and it was cool.
For sure.
Pop-up bars.
Pop-up bars.
So,
pop-up bars.
Pop-up bars. Let's go.
Chicago.
Chicago. You just got in the Chicago spirit.
Go on.
My story is titled Jesus Statue Time Capsule.
Oh.
Hello.
Is this the butt?
It is the butt. I knew you'd probably seen this one. You've probably seen all of my stories.
I don't know anything about it. I saw, I scrolled past it.
It's great. It does have to do with the butt. What's funny is all my stories today, have derpness to them, but then there's, cool stuff and,
I thought you were going to say
stuff.
all my stories today have to do with butts.
They're all about butts,
all
so
my
get
stories
ready.
Today are about butts.
No, just this one. But all of them have, a silly element to them, but then
Wonderful.
This one has history and another one has science, and it's great. Okay, so a statue of Jesus Christ is on display at a cathedral in Spain and has been hiding a secret message for hundreds of years in a very interesting spot. It was tucked away in a hidden compartment beneath, a little cloth in the statue's rear end.
In its butt!
In its booty! Although it is usual for many sculptures to be hollow, it is not so usual to find handwritten documents inside, said historian Efren Arroyo, a member of the Holy Week Brotherhood in Sotillo de la Ribera. The statue is called Cristo del... Okay, I looked up the pronunciation. Every website told me different. Cristo del... It's either Miserere or Miserere. It's Spanish. So, sorry. I tried to do research and find out. Cristo. I know that part. So this statue had been removed from a church in northern Spain for restoration when workers noticed the hidden compartment beneath the cloth.
Noticed that booty. They couldn't resist.
They had to see what was in there. Inside the statue, and then this is where it kind of goes past the silly and is actually really cool. Inside the statue was a letter penned in 1777 by Joaquin Minguez, a chaplain of the Cathedral de Burgo de Osma. Minguez's letter discussed the statue and others created by the same sculptor and detailed what life was like in the community 240 years ago.
Wow.
So it was truly a time capsule of the old age. He's like, hey, future people, this is what we're doing, which I thought was fun.
Capsule.
A butt capsule, everybody. Minguez described popular games of the day, including cards and ball, and noted that typhoid and malaria were very common.
Oh.
He also revealed that the main crops were wheat, rye, barley, and oats, and the harvest had been plentiful for many years.
Wow.
And he talked about the vineyards of his hometown and just all kinds of stuff that was going on. He was basically just trying to talk to some future person, which people do all the time now. Like, you bury a time capsule after high school or whatever. And I just thought it was cool that he picked this statue and its booty to put this in. This little scroll.
Did we mention it was in the butt?
In the butt? I don't know if we said that yet. What? In the butt? So yeah, he described all these cool things that were happening 240 years ago. The original document will be sent to the Archbishop, but a copy was returned to the statue's hindquarters for posterity.
Aww.
So there's a copy back in there, but they wanted to bring this to the proper people.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I liked it.
I like that.
I like historical things.
A little butt note.
Little butt note for you.
So this is weird.
Oh.
This is happening in Santa Fe. Santa Fe National Forest officials have begun to be concerned about many strange, huge stick structures that are being built at the forest site.
Okay. What? I'm getting an eye twitch. What's happening?
A spokesperson for the Forest Service said that strange cone-shaped odd collections keep appearing, and they have no idea what they are or who is building them. The Forest Service is worried that the structures, which are built entirely from wood and often stand 2 or even 3 stories tall, some with a 20-foot diameter, could pose a huge fire hazard, especially since a few of them have had leftover evidence that a possible fire had been burning inside of some of them.
Okay.
Authorities have also expressed some concern over the possibility that someone is building the huge structures to be used as like a wooden fort.
Mm-hmm.
But they are made up of thousands of sticks, and each one of them is made up of 1,000 sticks, and there's fear that they may collapse with people inside.
Mm-hmm.
So the Forest Service is destroying the structures as they find them to protect the members of the public, and $5,000 fines will be handed out to anyone found to be building these structures, which are on federal land. But a mountain biker, this is interesting, a mountain biker named Jake Matthews has been riding in the region for many years, and he said that he has always seen the structures in the area. He's been using the trails in the forest for almost 12 years and has seen them the entire time.
No way! But they're just now noticing this.
No, it's not something that started recently. Officials commented that they are now becoming more common than ever, which is why it's becoming a problem.
Right,
but these things have been around for, I mean, they don't know when they started. But this
and they don't know the reason.
No, they don't know who's building them, and they don't know the reason. Is it Bigfoot? Is it Bigfoot? Is it Bigfoot?
It's Bigfoot.
Is it Bigfoot?
I think it's Bigfoot. It's gotta be. That's so fun and weird.
And strange.
Or it's just like some crazy guy. We're getting so excited, but it's just like this insane man building.
Could be a crazy guy, but you should see these things. They're pretty, I mean, they're nuts. They're enormous. Like, there was a guy
really
standing next to one, and it was like this is the little guy.
Wow.
And then this is the big wooden structure, and the sticks are like, they say sticks, but they're like branches.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a teepee shape.
That's crazy that no one's ever been caught making them, which makes
the thing.
Seem very bizarre. That's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. I like it.
I do too.
So this is a sciencey story that I have, but again, it sounds a little derpy at first because it's about a GIF that went viral on the internet, and the GIF is like so cute and random and funny. So I'll describe the GIF to you guys because I don't think I'll be able to get a view, but I can also try that. It's this moving little picture, and it is these 3, I can at least show you, it's these 3 electrical towers. 2 of them are swinging their electrical ropes around as if they are a jump rope, and the one in the middle is jumping rope and landing on the ground, and it's making a big, like, it shakes the whole picture when the tower lands. They're actually called pylons, I found out. I've always just called them electrical towers.
Electrical towers.
Yeah, I was like, would they be able to see it? There it is.
Look at that guy.
So he's jumping rope. This is all over the internet. It went viral just over the last couple of days, but this was actually made by the artist in 2008. But a psychologist recovered this and brought it to the internet and said her name is Lisa De Bruin. She brought it back to the internet, even though it's older, and used it as a poll for Twitter saying, do any of you users out there look at this GIF and hear something when you look at it? And 70% of the people she polled said yes, they heard a huge thud, even though it's a completely silent GIF.
That's really weird because I thought I heard.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a video playing because I thought I heard,
you
like,
heard
a
it. Yeah, and everyone was responding to it, and a couple of tweets here, like people said, this is insane. Another person said, this broke my brain. Another person said, I have always heard it also, even though that's impossible. So Twitter was going crazy. The poll numbers were 70% heard a sound, 18%, 18% heard nothing, and 3% said they heard something else. But that wasn't really specified. But
3% said, I don't care. Don't ask me any questions.
So it's crazy that many people said they heard a sound. So
what is the science?
So the psychologist was asking about it because there are other GIFs and videos and things that exist on the internet that are like this, and she brought a bunch of them forward, but no more went as popular as this GIF. So revealed this is due, if you hear the sound in the silent picture, to the McGurk effect. This is a phenomenon that occurs when audio from one sound is paired with the visuals of another, and we hear a completely different result. In other words, what we see can change what we hear. There is a video of a man she used as an example where there's side-by-side pictures of him, and he's saying ba, but then it's paired with a video of him saying fa, and you only pick up the ba. Or he's saying fa, he's mouthing it, but the audio says ba, but you're seeing that he's saying fa, and everyone who watches it is like, there's no B, he's saying fa for sure, even though the audio says ba. So it's that same effect of your mind totally tricking yourself with the audio. So the animation of these jump roping pylons takes this phenomenon a step further because there's absolutely no sound, but the visual stimulus of when the tower is landing and how much it shakes the picture, because you're imagining the whole earth is shaking when this tower is landing. Hi, Penny. That visual is enough to make you think of a corresponding sound. And when I listened to it, I don't know if I actually heard a thud, but it made me feel like my ears and jaw were vibrating. Every time the tower would land, I felt as if I was having a feeling. Yeah, I was like, I feel that hitting the earth. Sorry, I just stabbed Penny in the face. She's fine. The effect is also seen in a study where 22% of participants heard faint sounds when they were shown a flash of light. And this is actually something different. So some of the people looking at the picture are just being tricked by the brain, but some people see this picture or see any video or have weird things going on where they see a light or any visual stimulus, and it's called synesthesia? Synesthesia? Yes, that's correct. Synesthesia. I'm done. You said it correct. Say it again. Synesthesia? Yes. I said it right. You did, and I was saying it with you to get it right. Synesthesia? They have this because this is a thing where people actually look at words or look at pictures and they can hear a sound or see a certain color. So it's them seeing or hearing something brings about another heightened sense.
Is that people who think of letters and have a color associated with them?
Yes, that's exactly the same.
So if someone's seven, Kate.
She was telling us that she's 7, and she was red
purple
or blue. Yeah, it's that. And
Periwinkle blue, and it was
exactly.
What?
She pairs things with that, and it's another, and it can happen with sounds too. You can look at something and hear a sound that isn't happening because for whatever reason another sense is coming forward to grab onto that stimulus. So
I wonder if I have anything like that I've just never noticed.
That's why I thought this was so fascinating.
So many people, when they talk about synesthesia.
Yeah, it's the worst word. Synesthesia.
So many people, when I saw that posted online, I don't remember, a year ago or something, and so many people were like, oh my god, I have this. Is this not how other people see numbers and letters? Is the world not this way? Yeah. I know, it's crazy. And I think that's why she was doing this, because she wanted to get the conversation going of here's what's going on here. You're not alone if you feel this way. And it was, in this case, it's probably not synesthesia because most people are hearing the sound. Happy Toast is the name of the original artist. That's his online handle, Happy Toast. He came back around after his long hiatus and said, the thump you're all hearing is almost entirely because of the shake. If you crop out the pylons themselves,
the tower's missing but still have the picture with the shake, you'll still hear the thud. The pylons are just giving it extra height for your eyes to gather and see, but it's really all because of that shake. So he came back to help explain it along with the psychologist, but yeah, I just thought it was a cool little thing, how much our brain can trick itself.
Yeah, sort of like anytime I see a ripple in water, I think of the T-Rex footstep sound.
Boom, 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 like little water shaking. I know.
Yeah.
Every time.
Every single time. That's crazy.
I know. Thought it was nuts. And also the GIF is so cute.
I know,
jumping.
that GIF is actually really cute. But I remember it was like 5 minutes ago, so of course I remember. But when you showed it to me, I
looked at it for a long time.
It was like, that's a GIF because I can hear sound. And then you were like, people hear sound. Isn't that weird?
It's so funny because I didn't want to say anything yet because I wanted you to look at it and then we would get to the story. But I saw you focusing on it for a pretty long amount of time and I was like, she's totally hearing the thud. She's getting it. It's happening.
It's happening. It's happening. Last one for me. I entitled this one... Oh, none of your business. I'm not going to tell you what I entitled it.
Secrets.
No, I entitled this one, Exorcisms for All.
Oh, I don't want to cheer for that. What?
I know.
Why?
I don't know how I feel about this one, actually.
Okay.
We all know that exorcisms take place throughout many religions, cultures, regions, etc. Pretty much any belief system has a sort of exorcism or purging of evil spirits involved. But when you think of a traditional exorcism, you always think of a Catholic exorcism, thanks to
what I relate to.
The Exorcist, mostly. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Exorcisms are an ancient ritual within the Catholic Church, and for centuries they have been conducted by priests in Latin, because that's what the text is written in. There's an actual, rite of exorcism, and it's written in Latin. The church takes exorcisms very seriously. They can only be performed by trained priests when given permission by a bishop, and the criteria in which permission is granted is very lengthy. We all know this because every time there's a movie with an exorcism involved, there's someone saying, like, we can't, we don't know. You don't have enough proof. Get the evidence. Anyways,
show us the evidence.
A doctor, actually, I looked it up too because I was like, how much of that is actually true? It is. A doctor has to rule the person mentally and physically okay. So they have to rule out mental and physical illness completely. If there's any possibility they could be epileptic, you don't get an exorcism. You have epilepsy.
I mean, that makes sense.
Drugs and other addictions cannot be present. And a certain number of signs and symptoms have to occur in order for a priest to step in and perform the ritual.
Okay.
Last month, it was announced that the Catholic Church is going to be distributing their guidelines on exorcism in English for the first time.
Oh, wow.
So that means that the ritual will become more accessible to priests who don't happen to have a firm grasp of the ancient Roman language. So why? The change is partly for the benefit of the humans receiving the exorcism. Whether you believe in the supernatural forces of evil or not, one thing you can't deny is that some people are firm believers, and sometimes the only way to help someone who believes that they are possessed by a demon is to successfully perform an exorcism. So that's what I would say probably 95% of exorcisms are, is this person, nothing is going to help them.
Yeah.
Except an exorcism.
Right.
Because they are so convinced, that they are possessed.
Mm-hmm.
There's also been a steady rise in calls for help over the last 10 years, which has left the church short of qualified exorcists. Demonic possession is on the rise, and the church has had to make changes in response to a rise in demand. So, are demons becoming more powerful or more abundant? The Catholic Church doesn't think so. They actually think that it comes down to more modern, sinful lifestyles, which invites evil into our lives more easily. So
stop being a terrible person.
Stop. Father Mink says that the problem isn't that the devil has upped his game, but that more people are willing to play it. Not only is a belief in possession rising, the belief in the occult is also growing. Astrology, psychics, mediumship, tarot cards, palm readings, crystal healings, these industries are booming. Even Urban Outfitters.
That's what we like to hear.
I know. I'm into it. Keep it up. But even Urban Outfitters sells, like, crystals, and they sell, like, sage bundles for, like, smudging.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen
at
it.
a clothing store.
Right.
So the Catholic Church thinks that these items being so commonplace, along with our idle hands, so to speak, thanks to the convenience of technology, is inviting the devil into our homes.
Okay.
But I also think that you also have to look at, you know, there's been a rise in exorcisms. Okay, since when? Since 1970. Okay, why? Mm-hmm. The Exorcist, The Omen, Rosemary's Baby.
What are the movies showing us?
The
Exorcism.
The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Like, almost every single horror movie nowadays that I've seen involves, like, an exorcism. It
really does. This is awful to say,
old.
but it's like, it's hot right now.
Exorcism's very in right now.
But it's, like, also, I wouldn't even call it right now. I feel like 5 years ago it was a little trendier, and now I'm in the same boat as you, where I'm like, okay, maybe a new idea. But to your point, there are so many demon and exorcism
we have an
movies.
TV show.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so much more commonplace now. It's just like in the media everywhere.
So if you're already a person who believes in demons, if you're already a person who believes that, like, you know, maybe you suffer from depression or something, and you have, like, you feel like something is oppressing you in some way, and then you're constantly being shown these movies where people are becoming possessed by the devil and exhibiting the same symptoms as you, and maybe you're not as smart. No offense, that was mean.
Sorry, she didn't mean it.
I knock on wood. I don't want to be possessed.
Please don't.
I don't
invite that in.
Anyway, so that's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about it, because
me either.
I think that, I mean, we all know the actual story behind the exorcism for Emily Rose, how she was essentially tortured to death.
Yep.
People die during exorcisms.
Yeah.
People get smothered, strangled, starved.
Yeah.
And giving access to more priests to perform exorcisms, I don't know if that's necessarily
a good thing. Yeah, I feel like it could potentially do more harm than good. Not that it will, but that absolutely, it could hurt more people.
Also, I feel like exorcisms aren't as cool if they're not in Latin.
I agree. That's what makes them awesome. Not awesome. That's not the right word, but like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It just, I don't know. Yeah, more interesting, fascinating. Yeah, spooky, eerie, unusual, creepy, sticky, gross. You know what I mean. It's not awesome. Exorcisms are not awesome. Let's all hope you don't get possessed by the devil. Okay, final story for me. Lauren's Derp Corner! I had chicken wings today.
Did you?
Not that I ate. I was doing. I wish I had eaten some. That sounds delicious. I may get those for dinner tonight. Sorry about it. Bucket of chicken. Okay. So, as I said before, all of my stories had like a silly element, but then got cool. This one's just ridiculous. Yay. And also everyone may have heard this story, especially by the time this video actually comes out, because this was last week, but it still made me laugh. So a man, on this past Wednesday, last week, Alex Bowen of South Carolina couldn't sleep one night, and so he decided to go get some food to bring it back home, and just maybe he needed to feed his stomach, and that's why he couldn't sleep.
Feed your stomach.
So he's like, what's 24 hours that's open? The Waffle House. So he walked into the Waffle House. There was one staff member there, because I think this is like 3 a.m, and that staff member was sleeping on a table, like passed the F out. He like made a little sound, but then like didn't want to make too much sound because was also like, should I let this person sleep? I'm here in the middle of the night. But Alex was still very hungry, and he realized very quickly that he wouldn't get served unless he took matters into his own hand. So not settling for hunger or another restaurant, because he was already here, Alex decided to go behind the counter and into the kitchen and cook up his own feast. And he documented it and put it on Facebook. Seriously, if you just Google, like, man cooks his own meal at Waffle House, you'll see all of his photos. He put them all on Facebook, and it's selfies of him, like, over the grill frying bacon, making a sandwich, like, over by the produce and the bread, just like, here I am. And this person was still sleeping through all of this. And yes, you're not supposed to do this, but
No.
his little collection of pictures was really funny.
Did he get in trouble?
He actually did not. He documented this whole thing, took all of his selfies, ate the sandwich, and then later that day, like when it was a normal time of day, came back, said what he had done, and paid them $5 because he had no one to like check out with because no one was awake. He paid $5, basically just got a slap on the wrist, but then a Waffle House spokesperson came forward and said, "We want to remind all customers that it is against many health code violations to go behind the counter and serve yourself. So please don't do it at any of our establishments."
And
I
also,
mean, duh, but
don't fall asleep on the job.
But also, the staff member, I believe, got
I
fired, which is unfortunate.
No.
I know. Either fired or suspended. It wasn't at the end of the article, but I had seen someone in the comments say, "I know this person, and I think they got reprimanded pretty harshly." Which sucks because it was 3 in the morning.
Overnight shift.
But also, like, you are a 24-hour restaurant.
Yeah, but you are a 24-hour
So it's like, I see both sides. You gotta sleep, but also like, sorry. And he should have just woken them up. But
and one employee was there?
Yeah,
that seems
asleep
crazy.
on a table. And one of the pictures in his Facebook collages of the person sleeping, it's like really blurry and you can barely see them and their head is tucked under their arms, but you're just like, oh, poor honey. But yeah, this guy, he was a U.S. Army combat medic. He's like a big buff guy and he just has all these like really happy selfies cooking himself his little meal.
Funny.
So he was, I mean, that shows determination for the tummy. Like when you are hungry, nothing can stop you.
Nothing can stop you. Nothing can stand in your way.
Nothing at all.
Speaking of hungry.
I'm hungry.
I don't know when this is going to come out, but our final episode of season 1 is being released this Friday. Today's Tuesday.
Friday, December 8th. That's not real math.
It's not. Friday, December 8th is our season finale, which... Gabby, are you sad?
Gabby, I like that both cats came to visit us during this. I almost murdered Penny, but Gabby's here.
Gabby's here. Gabby is happy that our season went so well. Are you so happy?
You were basically one of the podcasters, Gabby. Like, she was very heavily involved.
Look at that face.
Look at that little booger.
Look at that. So sweet.
So tune in.
To our final episode. We'll be back.
In the new year.
In the new year, 2018.
It's not a long break at all.
If LA is still here. Oh my goodness.
Gosh, it's on fire right now, guys. It's smoky, windy, crazy outside.
It's absolutely insane.
My
eyes are on fire.
My eyes are on fire.
Beautiful.
Anywho,
if
we're still alive, we'll be here.
Keep it weird.
Keep it weird.
Is Gabby in the...
Get your eyeballs in there. Oh, I like really sunk into my turtleneck.